Sports fans, what's up? Black Sox fans, welcome back. Going to be trying something new here this year. I'm Joe Torre, your host and owner of the Black Sox Pro Baseball organization, 23 years and running. Want to do something new for you guys that includes our Black Sox information, a little bit of talk about some other sports and some other things that I've been getting into as of late, and then also some advice for players at the end, and kind of make this like a little roadmap where I could talk to you guys every day, every morning. I don't know if you remember the mime show that we did a few months back. It's on the YouTube if you want to scroll back and check some out. But they were like early morning things, 5, 6 in the morning. For me, I like doing that early, get it out of the way, and then you guys can watch it first thing in the morning, get after your day. You can ask me whatever you want to ask me throughout the day, and hopefully I can answer the group here. Would probably be the easiest way to answer the group, and that's on anything. That's on life, that's on baseball, that's on whether you work with us or you don't. But if you are part of the Black Sox community or want to become part of the Black Sox community, make sure that you like, subscribe, click that button, follow along, share this thing. If we grow this thing, we'll be able to go live in different places of the world, like I wish we were able to do when we recently played in Melbourne. But you can see their live broadcast of our games on the Melbourne Aces YouTube channel. But definitely follow along. It'll be a place to talk sports and other sports for sure. I don't know if you guys woke up this morning and watched some of the hockey games that were on overseas, but I did with the Olympics coming up and everything. Just, life stuff, man. We can talk about whatever. I don't really care, but I just want to give you guys a couple picks every day, talk about a couple things every day, talk about the Black Sox picks every day, talk about what we're exactly specifically doing, what you guys need to know and what you need to do. And that's kind of why I want to talk about the picks, you know what I mean? Because if you guys are smart, you're waking up and it's international, hockey in the morning. They're scoring 11 goals a game. A few of the first place teams played the last place teams today. So that was interesting. A lot of fun, a lot of goals. Mikey was bouncing around, celebrating, hearing the horn. But, wanted to just give you guys some sort of a roadmap, make it somewhat consistent. And the idea is that we're expanding this thing, we're changing this thing. I don't know if you've heard about the Florida Incentive League, guys getting paid out basically to play. There are some guys that earn, good amount of incentives in the fall that'll go towards their winter, that'll go towards their spring, that'll eventually make their tour cheaper. And that's what we're really trying to do is give guys a longer roadmap, a better roadmap than like, hey, just give it all you got for a few months and go broke, because that's not the plan, boys. Definitely want to start with thanking the Melbourne Aces. I really do appreciate we were over there playing. I don't know if you guys know, we were part of the International Showdown. It was amazing. We played 2 series. One is the Killer Bees, one is the Road Warrior Black Sox. The first weekend as the Road Warrior Black Sox, we led the nation in attendance. We led Australia, all of Australia in attendance. I'm not sure if you guys know, but the Melbourne Aces broke from the ABL this year to do their own thing. They went to Korea to play the KBO Fall Series and then invited us over. They recently played the New Zealand national team. They're going to play the Australia Down Under Travelers, and they're going to have Korea come and visit them for some series at the end of February. They've already signed Jamison Hill and Jordan Sickett from our recent trips. They probably would have signed more guys if they stuck around, but those 2 guys will stay there for the Korea series. Jamison Hill is currently playing on a state league team. They're housing him, taking care of him. Same with Sickett. I think he's practicing with the Melbourne club. I'm not sure, but you guys are going to be my resources. So, and my sources. So what you give me, I'll give back and spread it to the boys. So, use this vehicle as we drive it. But congratulations to the boys, and huge thanks to Justin Huber, who hit me up originally to set this thing up and get the Black Sox back into professional baseball for the first time since 2020. For those of you that don't know, we won the 2020 Yinzer Baseball Confederacy, sort of. It was a COVID pod that the Washington Wild Things had invited us to. And so Justin Huber, seeing the success we had with that, with the organization and the ball club I could build, and we could put together with a great team that I had: Jesse Remington, Yuta Okazaki, Sip Garza, Aaron Brill. I can't thank the guys enough for everything they did along the way. Justin Huber really gave us the opportunity, the general manager of Melbourne. So thank you, Justin. Mick Weirn, player procurement. John Diebel, manager. Mel, you were great. Thank you for the sweatshirt and everything. Andrew Henderson, the hospitality, the people of Melbourne, they took care of us. They cared about us. They talked about us on the broadcast like we were something to reckon with, and we really were. If you guys watch those games, it was really a tremendous offensive output for sure, especially. But the effort of a group of guys to travel across the country, mostly from the East Coast, stop in California, stop in Arizona, get some work in, and then fly overseas to play 2 professional series. With the weather conditions weren't so great. It was really challenging, and these guys really, hopefully in what's the first year of a many-year professional winter league in Australia, they did a tremendous job for us. But thank you, Melbourne Aces. Thank you for having us. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for feeding us probably more food in the first feeding than we got probably in all 25 tour games last year from teams in the United States. So teams in the U.S., you got to step up, honestly, for real. Let's get real. But thank you guys so much. And, if you guys have any ideas for what this show could be called, especially my friends out in Australia, drop some comments. I'm sure some of you guys, especially my ones that helped us with the social media, you probably have some ideas and some thoughts on this. But, I just want to get you guys part of this community. I want to keep you guys updated, and I want to get you informed on what's going on worldwide. I think a lot of guys just didn't know what was going on with the Melbourne Aces, what was going on overseas, and I really had to take a lot of time to put it together and step away from even some of my roles. I don't have a kid training facility. I don't do lessons. I don't have another side job where I do real estate. Baseball's been all I do for, I think, about 10 years now, full-time, about 10 years, 8 to 10 years. I used to do some other side jobs and whatever, but it was always pretty much baseball for me. And now running the Kenosha Kings summer program, in our summer league that we have up in the Chicago area. We've got the New Jersey Sox in the New Jersey area, and we're full-time in South Florida here year-round. It's really just become a real blessing to be able to do this full-time and enjoy my job and love it. But I also, when the Melbourne Aces called me, I had to take a step back. I was coaching professional baseball in Charleston this year in the Atlantic League. I was coaching third base, and I had to step away a month into the season to go home and actually plan for this Melbourne trip, put the team together that I put together, make the international and national travel that we had to do across the country, some exposure events for the guys, set up some games. But it really was about 4 to 6 months of work to put this whole thing together. And then by the time I got there, and I left a week early, I went to the first series in Australia, and I left a week early to come back here and do things in Florida with our guys. That concluded with games against the Empire Fall Series with Eddie and Jerry over there, the Empire guys who were great. And it just took so much out of me that I legit, in the beginning of December, middle of December, when we shut it down, I shut it down. And that's why this year, for the first time ever, got a little break till January 15th. Never have had that before in my Black Sox playing or coaching or business career. Never had an off time, which obviously we're not that off. There's so much going on. I've already got the first 4 tour games scheduled for the Barnstorming Tour this year, 2 Atlantic League games, a Frontier League game, an American Association game. And right now I think those might be the only games I'm going to keep, and I'm going to play to win them, pretty much because of what we just did with Melbourne. And I think we need to keep the standard that. I don't think the standard could come down from there anymore, boys. But we'll give more information on those tour games and everything coming up. The thing about the Florida Incentive League, briefly, you guys need to know about this. It's $1,500 to play for one season for any player that hasn't been with us. If you've been with us and you can get grandfathered into this program at a cheaper rate or whatever it is, I would do it. Once you take your cash out from the incentive league and say, I don't want to play the next season, I just want my $500 earnings, you no longer are grandfathered in under the prices and the way that we did it before. Fellas, unfortunately, there are too many guys that I asked in the past, hey man, it's going to be $250 more. It's going to be $500 more. We're moving it up this year. That not only couldn't do it, I signed these guys 3, 4, 5 times. So I get what it is, man. I get what it is. So let's put your money where your mouth is. Let's have a 3 to 6 team league in South Florida. We just had one in the fall, a little disrupted by weather, a little disrupted by competition and kind of how it was set up. And we're in the growing stages of this thing. So for the guys that did the fall, offered them a 50% off to do the winter. You guys will get those invoices soon and minus your winning money. So I think the most MVPs was like 3 or 4. Got the doors and windows open upstairs as the doors are slamming here. It's beautiful weather in South Florida. You don't need the AC. It's just been cool at night and 70s during the day. I think that's going to lead into a pretty good spring for us and winter for us to play, where you'll play 4 days a week in this incentive league and have an opportunity every night for the best pitcher, best hitter to win $100 back each in a win. If you lose, you don't win money. We're doing 3 teams in the winter. Build it up until February 26th. We'll go to 6 teams when we have Santa Lucis High School. We'll shrink it back down to 3 teams April 1st, and then we'll go on the tour. I'm offering double the incentives for wins in the Fort Pierce tournament with the Mariners. MVP award there gets a $1,000 prize. If a pitcher wins an MVP award there, he gets a free season, $1,500. If you win the MVP in the winter, free season for the next season. Offensive player, defensive player, pitcher. We're giving out 3 free seasons. If you play the winter, you can earn And you don't have to just play the spring. You can say, I want my free season to be the summer, or I want my free season to be the fall. But the idea is, and I know this is a lot to follow along, and that's why we're going to communicate this way, so you can press pause, rewind, go look it up, whatever it is you got to do, watch it over and over. But let's get real specific. So with what you're asking me, I can answer you first thing in the morning by going over my 20, 30, 80 players' text, and then instead of responding to each player individually and missing out on time where I could be talking to managers, setting up games, making bigger picture moves for you guys, I think we need to communicate this way. So just an example. Jared Bujdos, you guys all know Jared Bujdos. I'm pretty sure he's going to be named the offensive MVP of this recent fall. The guy was here the whole time. He hit about 500. He was limited with the arm. He's coming off an injury, and he just absolutely dominated offensively and showed up every day. He's going to win the MVP. He wasn't paid to play in the incentive league because he was recently grandfathered in from his previous membership. So I'm going to offer him some sort of discount. We'll hook him up. I already did, actually. But in theory, if he had paid the winner the fee, which everyone will pay the fee going forward, he will as well, he would have spent $1,500, win the MVP, that's minus $500. He won 4 MVPs, that would be minus $900, so his fee would be $1,500 minus $900. The idea would be he only pays $400 or $500 for that next season, goes and wins himself another, he's a winner, right? The guy's going to win. He's going to go win another 10, 15 MVPs in this thing, put it towards his summer season. So now for each time he's got to make a payment for a future season, he's already got some money in the bank, and he can just shave that. There was one guy that had some winnings, and when he shifted over, and this guy's probably going to be our defensive MVP, very close runner-up in the offensive MVP running. It's going to be our defensive MVP. Is going to be Alexio Delgado, a phenomenal athlete who committed also the entire fall, and actually the only player to shift from, I'm going from Florida to Australia, and he did it and was hitting in the top of the order in our professional lineup this year against Melbourne. Got his games on YouTube. Great choice by Alexio. Got to reward the guy. Great defender. $500 for him. He also won, I think, 3 or 4 MVPs. So his fee is going to be the 50% I gave him, $750, minus the $500 and the other money he's barely paying for the next summer, for the next spring. And he shouldn't be. He earned it. And that's what this has to be, boys. It has to be that you earn it. I don't want to go on the road with you if you can't beat York, Lexington, Washington, or Gary. If you can't beat those 4 teams in front of fans, I don't want to go with you, okay? And I don't want you to go with me, and that's what I'm going to do. The other games that maybe we'll pick up along the way that maybe won't matter as much for winning and losing and scrimmages and whatever, we'll get everybody involved in those. You guys want exposure? This is the place for exposure. When guys ask, what am I paying for? 20-year track record, 1,000 signed players. DeCarlo, Zeke Wood got picked up last year in affiliated ball. I've signed helped over 25, 30 guys get to affiliated ball through this indie ball route. I can't even tell you how many released affiliated players we've signed like that when they come to us. If you're a shitty pitcher, mediocre numbers, this is the place for you. Being available is the best signability that you guys have, and I've mastered that. Quick sip from the mustache man. What'd you think? There was no coffee involved today? Going to get you out of here in a minute. Going to drop a lot of information on that incentive league. I'm going to take the time to break it down. Those shows won't be 10 minutes long, but these will be. You are going to start asking your questions. You are going to start commenting. If you don't comment, I'm not answering the question. I don't need a million texts to my phone of guys that already know what to do. And we'll get to that advice of the one guy, and I think you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about at the end of this show. Last thing, about to get into some playoff football. It's about to start. I'm going to click over, watch it. I hope you guys locked in, and I hope you guys know how to think, and you know that there's like 4 or 5 replacement quarterbacks today. There's a couple teams that are already in the playoffs that are going to be resting some players. There's probably some weather issues in certain places and field issues and home field advantage issues that are going to help or not help certain situations. There's also some bonus and contract issues that are probably going to help or hurt in some places. I'm going over on interceptions for rookie quarterbacks, under on yards, over on rushing all around the league. Over on big-time QB performances, running around, scoring themselves, because that's the kind of show that this has become lately. And for you guys that are like, what is Joe talking about? Yes, I'm the guy that did not watch a sports game. I quit sports, and I hate baseball, boys, and that's a whole nother concept. We'll talk about that conversation later. I don't really like baseball, but I stopped watching sports when the New York Giants defeated the New England Patriots for the 2nd time in the Super Bowl. I shut it down. Fanhood complete. Think about that. I shut that down years ago. I remember getting so upset when when the Seahawks or somebody ran the ball or threw the ball instead of ran the ball into the end zone and threw an interception to the Patriots. And I just couldn't watch sports anymore. That was one of the moments I remember. But big-time Devils fan, we got our Stanley Cups. New York Knicks, no shot. Orioles, no shot. I give up. New York Giants win 2 championships. My MO has always been championships. My MO has always been winning. When we went to Australia, it was to win those cups. When we went to Washington, it was to win the championship. We've won dozens and dozens of men's league and tournament and champion. World comes to Palm Beach is 3 championships in a row. I tell the guys every time, I think 4 championships in a row now. I tell the guys every game, if you lose one game in this thing, quit baseball. And the world comes to Palm Beaches next year will be also a completely different format, not run by this thing anymore. Going to be a big international thing run by you-know-who. But that is what this is, fellas. It really is the championships. You know, I mentioned the Tillman Pugh in the interview that he did with the Melbourne guys. He talked about his best seasons, favorite seasons were his championship seasons. So I hope you guys understand how this is a way to keep the standard high. And but basically, I got back into sports a little bit because the championships intrigued me. You know, I think not playing for a couple of years, my playing career is over. The sports thing's kind of intriguing me. And I'm a different kind of guy. You know, I've never purchased a TV. I hope you guys know I've never purchased anything on Amazon. At least I've never pressed a button. It may have been my credit card and somebody else may have pressed the button, but I've never done it. And actually, one of those games when they threw that ball in the end zone instead of ran it for the interception, I remember not having a TV in my house from 2014 to 2021. And actually, I didn't have an apartment from 2014 to 2021 until COVID happened, actually. And I'm different. You know, I'm just different than some of you guys. Not that I didn't pay rent. Not that I didn't have 100 Airbnbs and hotel rooms and places to stay all over the country in that 7-year period. I did, but I didn't have an apartment. And so I'm here to share with you guys that I know the grind. I am the grind. I was the grind. I still am the grind. You know, when guys give me car trouble problems, I mean, boys, I don't have a car. I killed 2 cars in my last season in California in 2019, a Cadillac and a Honda. I killed over 25 cars in my driving career. I'm done with cars. No more cars. I give you the best advice on cars. We can talk in the future about what players should do if you're going to drive around the country and do this grind, because the car is your number one problem. But we are on the same grind. I want to share that, and that's kind of why I got into the sports thing, because there are some things that I know that you could capitalize on that you probably should be, like those early morning European hockey games this morning, because it would help you out. You know, it might help you out. And you got to do it, you know, not in a you're taking a chance kind of way, but you're only in it to win the championship kind of way, if you know what I'm talking about. So stick with me for those picks. I'm going to have some picks down the road for some other sports, and I've been watching a little bit of everything. We can kind of maybe we'll connect a little differently now, because you guys are like, Coach Joe's such a caveman. We can't talk about anything. Well, now we can talk about sports. Let's see if you know a thing or two about a thing or two. And let's just close it out here in this last 2 minutes with the advice that I would give to the player who asked me, what's the plan to get me signed before May? Because me and my family made a plan that I would be signed before May, or I would have to continue with my career, after college. And what I could say is, my plan for you specifically is not necessarily, it's my plan for my organization, right? The vehicle drives and it works. We sign 100 players a year. So if you're not one of those players that are signing, ask yourself what you're doing or not doing that's hurting you or helping you from doing it. I know it works. I don't need to explain to you what my plan is. You need to explain to me what your plan is, because your plan from when I first met you in June until I just finished with you a month ago or whatever it was, wasn't a great plan, obviously. So if you're not the best player I have, and I'm not saying, dude, I'm going to sign you, dude, I'm going to sign you, dude, I'm going to sign you, then you better work your ass off. And also, managers and all these guys, and myself included, fellas, I'm running a professional organization. How many guys do you think I brought with me to play against Melbourne, or that I would sign to Melbourne, or any of the people that I'm close with? I'm close with Oakland. I'm close with Quebec. I'm close with Gary, Chicago. I'm close with Charleston. How many of those guys do you think that I'm sending to my close people? Hey, you should take this kid. He might quit soon. Hey, you could take this kid. If it doesn't work out, he's planning his other career. No shit. That's why it's not working out. Let's get it through everybody's heads that we're going to change the verbiage. Okay? It's going to change your mind, and it's going to change your life and your career. Fellas, we've got to communicate this way. It is not the way for me. I'm thinking about calling this kid and giving it to him one-on-one, 25 minutes, and he's going to get all motivated, and he's going to pay his money, and he's going to come down. And really what he should hear is what I'm saying, and I can't waste 25 minutes on it. I can't. And more people need to hear it, and more people need to share it. So share that, fellas. if you're not one of the guys, like I know Aaron Brill for sure, a guy that I played with and worked with and traveled with extensively, guys like Yuta Okazaki, guys like Sip Garza that I've been grinding with for years, tell them the same thing. They'd be like, yeah, nice, next, please, next. Think about it, boys. There's so many guys that grinded and ate shit and ate dirt for so long, and then there's these guys like, well, if I don't get signed, I'm gonna, like, get out of here, boys. It's not going to play. Definitely don't ever tell a manager that. I understand you got to come up with a plan. I understand financially it is what it is. But boys, fellas, parents, get off these kids. Stop putting pressure on them. The real world sucks and you know it. So don't take this away from the kid. I've been telling parents, I've been telling kids, the way to make it is the support from your families, boys. The days of making it to the big leagues after driving DoorDash and playing in the USPBL are over. It happened once and it'll never happen again. People with money make it. People with muscles make it. People who eat a lot of food make it. Who lift weights and pay people to train them, they make it. So help your kids and support your kids and give them money. Because I tell you what, I'm sick of hearing kids tell me that they're poor. I'm poor. I don't have any money. I'm like, do you have a vacation house? Do your parents fly and see you everywhere that you play in the country? Every shitty team, every shitty league, every shitty place you've ever been to, your parents have flown there and seen you play, and you don't have money to do this, that, or the other thing? I'm done hearing it, and that's why we're going to rock here this way, the way I wants, because I've been rocking for a long time the way you wants, and then I got people asking me, hey, does it work? What do you think? Comment, like, subscribe, follow this thing. I'm going to get into my NFL games. Guys, it's Sunday, 1 o'clock, Florida, East Coast. Use me for the next 12 hours. Call me if you see this, if you're lucky enough to have already been subscribing to this. I am just going to be copying link, paste into the text messages from now on. When guys ask me questions, you can ask the question, and I will put it on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show will be early in the morning. Beat everybody to it. We'll wrap up these football games. We'll talk, playoff picture for the week. Send me your NFL picks. Send me your Super Bowl favorite. Send me your favorite team. Send me whatever you want. Send me FU Joe. Followers, haters, all the same copycats. You can come on here and learn a thing or two about a thing or two because you definitely need to learn because you are screwing it up for everybody. So you can go ahead and do whatever you want. Talk all the ish you want. It doesn't really matter to me. I've been doing this for long enough. Like Phil Collins said, I don't care anymore. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see you later.